Shalom, shalom, back again with another lesson. Before I begin this lesson, I'd first like to begin by giving all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Kodash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles who rule well, who taught me this truth. I want to say peace and salutations to you, Akim, you brothers out there laboring, pushing this word out in all truth and sincerity. Also want to say shalom to you Israelite sisters that may be listening, and also to you Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. You may look like these other nations, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is the chosen seed line. Shalom. So I wanted to do this lesson today. It's a bit of a crazy story in the news today. There's a man by the name of Charlie Kirk. He's a podcaster. I guess you could call him a right-wing podcaster, and basically he's a white supremacist podcaster. And he was in Utah at a Utah event, and he was quite literally assassinated on a global stage on all social media platforms. You can probably search his video and see him actually getting shot. Right now, the elders and apostles, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. I'm not part of Great Millstone, but they have the 100% truth. They've been telling us for the longest time that time is going to start getting a little bit more hectic and a little bit more crazy as we progress. Through prophecy that's coming to pass, and Charlie Kirk being assassinated, and is quite literally signs of the times. It's not only that, you have riots kicking off in other countries, like France, for example, and there's another country in Asia that is also kicking off, right? So these are all the wars, rumors of wars. There was even a notice that I see in on social media saying that Britain is turned into like a war ready stance. Something is going on behind the scenes, and it's getting hot, man. So we're gonna begin this brief lesson. I pray it's edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, right? And I'm going to start at verse 6. This is a very popular scripture that I bring out often. This is Matthew 24 and 6, and it reads, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So this still ain't the end, but we're seeing, these prophecies speaking. We're starting to see them come louder and more clear as time goes on. Right, verse 7 says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." You got the whole situation with Venezuela and America. Now you got something going on in the Middle East, so-called Middle East, with Israel bombing, I think it's Doha, somewhere like that, in the Qatar. And basically, the escalation of war. We're getting to that point. We're even hearing, news stories about COVID coming back. You know what I mean? A new strain where it feels like razor blades in your throat, right? But it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences." Pestilences like, your diseases and all kinds of stuff. But the famines, obviously, you have a small man-made, manufactured famine in Gaza right now, obviously with the Israelis blocking the food chain and sort of saying they're blocking it for Hamas reasons and whatnot. Who knows? But these are the things that are written in the scriptures, and it says, "And earthquakes in diverse places." There was an earthquake not too long ago in Russia, 8.8. Like all these signs are coming to pass, which is written. Maybe now people will start listening, right? But there's still going to be people that don't listen. But you can see it on the scriptures. It's written on the paper, right? It says, "All these are the beginning of sorrows." This is just the beginning, right? This isn't going to be one of those things that goes away. This is just the beginning. Where it's going to keep heating up, right? Now, in the sense of Charlie Kirk, being shot on social media platforms. I mean, that's you're going to start seeing a lot more of that, right? So it's those times. I'm just going to go to the second Esdras. I'm going to jump down to chapter 15, right? And the Bible tells us we have to warn our people, right? It says in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17, you know, son of man. Actually, let me just get the scripture. I was going to quote it, but it's just better I just pull it out. Bear with me one moment. Let me get the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17. Right? So it says here, it says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. It says, therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Right? It says it there, and you can continue reading. But I'm going to jump back over to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 1. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, it's possessive, that's the Israelites. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Right? It says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And that's true. That's definitely true, because we're seeing it. You know, I would play the video, the clip, but I don't want to get flagged because my channel's been getting flagged recently. So I won't play the video, but you can just search it on social media and you'll see it. Verse 3 says, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. You know, because starting with the head apostles, elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, and the like-minded brothers on down who have been pushing this word out in all truth and in sincerity have been saying, you know, like, these things are coming. And I always mention that there's scoffers out there that always, oh, you keep saying it's going to happen. You know, the elder Manasseh Zakbar from GMS South Carolina, you know, he's always doing videos about Christians and how they, you know, believe that the Israelite doctrine is a false doctrine and we're liars and, you know, we're a hate group and all this other stuff. He's always posting those videos. But we're you know, the Lord's going to reveal it to him, right? The Lord's going to reveal it to him. And what does incredulity mean? We're going to look it up, right? So the word incredulity, it means the state of being unwilling or unable to believe something, right? So it says disbelief, incredulousness, a lack of belief, unbelief, right? So what it's saying here is let not the unbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee. You know, hey, just because the Christians are all the Hebrew Israelites are a hate group, they're a cult. Just because they don't believe us doesn't mean it ain't true. It says don't let it bother you, right? If they speak against you, just whatever. Like, okay, you don't believe it, cool. Well, the Lord's going to show you soon enough, right? Verse 4, it says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. It says they shall die in their unfaithfulness, right? So they're just gonna perish, right? Like, hey, we tried to warn you, tried to do like Ezekiel 3 and 17. I have made thee a son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. That's the Israelites, right? Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Hey, we're warning you. You don't believe, or you're unwilling to believe, or unable to believe something. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. You see, it's that easy. Right? It's pretty plain and simple. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. You know, these troubles. Charlie Kirk getting, you know, sniped. You know, Paris breaking out into riots. You know, and the other country, I can't think of the country's name. It like escapes me. But in Asia, you know, protesting there. You know, and then you've got, you know, the situation that's unfolding in the Middle East, so-called Middle East right now, right? It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. This is what's coming, right? So if you choose to unbelieve that or not believe that, then hey, that's on you, right? It says, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 6. It says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Right? So, it goes to show you. Right? We're going to keep reading. It says, therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Right? So the souls of the just are the Israelites, the men that are out here on the highways and hedges complaining and teaching the word to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and proclaiming boldly to the wicked elites, these Edomites that are in control of everything, that their judgment is coming. We're complaining continually how these devils keep, messing everything up, causing sorrow and chaos in the world. This is, hey, that judgment's coming for you, Esau, Edom, especially, and to the other nations, but Esau, Edom especially, right? So this is 2nd Ezra 15. Hold on, let me see. No, I'll leave it there. I won't continue. But like I said, I just wanted to do a quick, brief lesson, just showing you how, the Lord is getting ready to touch this place, and all these events that are taking place in the earth, is the Lord getting ready to bring that day of judgment, man. That hour of temptation, Jacob's trouble, World War III, Yahweh's return, our King. It's gonna be that time. So hey, those doors of mercy are closing, man. They're getting ready to close. So if you ain't repented yet, you better jump on, get to it. There ain't much time left, right? So with that, I pray that this quick, brief lesson was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And with that, it's on to the next. Shalom.